I could see the saints at all times moving along inside the tunnel. They were in the form and shape of humans, yet I could not detect any race, age, or sex. They were all clothed alike, with the garments appearing to be made up of two pieces. There was a blouse or shirt and a pair of slacks. The color of the garments was a pastel baby blue, with one of the garment pieces being a shade lighter than the other piece. The blue was so light that it was almost white. I realized that these saints I was viewing had not yet received their glorified body, because that must wait until the first resurrection. At first I was disappointed that I was not permitted to travel in the tunnel with the saints, but the disappointment was eased when I was told that we were going to the same place they were going. After all, I knew that if my physical life was going to be extended, I would have to appear before God. Even now, my physical life was still the uppermost thing to me. As we traveled along, I noticed all around me that the demons were beginning to drop behind. The gates came into view, and the closer we got to the gates, the farther behind fell the demons. When we arrived before the gates, there were no demons in view. Although the gates of the third heaven opened out into the second heaven, no demon would come close. Instead of allowing me to enter, the angel stationed me before the gates, slightly to one side. He instructed me to stay there and watch as the saints were permitted to enter into heaven. As the saints were allowed into heaven, I noticed a strange thing. They were permitted to enter only one at a time. No two were permitted to enter those gates at the same time. I wondered about this, but it was never explained to me. I've studied about this often since I have returned, and now I think I know why. I believe this was a tribute or a salute to the individual. After all, that individual made the choice with his own sovereign will. Remember, it had been pointed out to me specifically that we, as images of the living God, possess the sovereign will, through which we have the right to choose our own destiny. As the saints were being admitted, I was wondering why I was not being allowed to do what I came to do. I was so impatient to get my request before God that I missed the whole point of what I saw. This point was so important that the Holy Spirit told me himself. I watched the 50 saints enter heaven, but the point I missed was the time frame involved. It was explained to me that at the same time those 50 saints died on earth, 1,950 other humans also died, or about 50 out of 2,000 made it into heaven. The other 1,950 were not there. Where were they? That was only 2.5% going to heaven. 97.5% did not make it. Is that representative of the entire world today? If so, 97.5% of the population of this world today is not ready to meet God. The sad part, my friend, is that it is exactly representative of this Laodicean church age in which we live today.